Well, it's John Black, Super Chemist again. Oh, I forgot my glasses somewhere and I'm blind, so how am I going to find them? Oh my God, I'm going to sit on them. I know that, but I'm going to sit on them. Oh, here they are. Okay, well, here we are. We're back at the same playlist, Trump racism, and can't get down what? Okay. So anyways, the playlist is called Trump Racism. This is really getting on my nerves. Okay. So anyways, 6 black kids did that. Trump didn't skip. Okay, so let's go into his presidency, because some people maybe say, oh, well, for entire 50, 60 years, Trump pretended to be not racist, just so, you know, after he's pretty much past the, you know, like 70 is when people die, a man in the United States. That's the average lifespan, 70, 71, somewhere like there. So he waited till after that to where he had more chance to die than be alive the next morning, every day of his life from there on. He waited till then so that he can be president and hopefully live long enough. You know what I mean? That was his plan. Like, that's his grand plan. No, I can see saying, you know, if he's 60 or something, you know what I mean? He waited until he was 60, you know, to be president, and it was all just a plan, and he's really not racist. I mean, he's really racist, you know. But he waited till what? He was like 70, so he was at the point where he had more of a chance statistically to wake up dead than alive. That's when he waited to do his lifelong plan, you know what I mean? But anyways, so let's look at his presidency. And I'm only going to bring up a couple things here, you know, that come off the top of my head. Because if I can literally sit here for hours talking about what he did specifically just for black people, okay, during his presidency. The First Step Act, okay, there was a crime bill called the 94 crime bill, the Biden crime bill, it's called, because Biden was big. That's why he was so big in writing it that they called it the Biden crime bill, okay? Yeah, it's considered the most racist bill in the world, you know what I mean? It incarcerated more black people than anybody, you know, any other law or whatever. It's very, you know, racist towards black people. For many reasons, but the main reason, one of it was that is if you have a little bump of crack, because black people usually do more crack than white people usually do more coke, you know, back in the 90s. And so what, you know, a little bump of crack, one hit, you know, crack, you know, gets you like 5 years. But you can have 20 pounds of cocaine and, you know, you get a week. And I'm making up stuff here. It wasn't that bad. But that's why it was racist, because it had a lot of crap in there like that. So what did Trump do when after what? Now you got the 90s, you got the aughts, right? The 00. You got the 10s and you got the 20s. And all this time goes by, nobody does anything to change this racist. They complain about it, though. Who changes it? Trump. He makes the First Step Act. He goes into the racist 94 Biden crime bill. He changes it all around, and then he implements the First Step Act. And with that, okay, it changed it so it wasn't racist anymore, and it paroled 6,000 to 7,000 people, 90% of them black. No one has. That's what's funny. No one has paroled, like even Obama. I think Obama paroled like a 1,000 people or something. You know what I mean? Trump paroled like 1,000 black people. Just you know, a couple hundred black people, 600, you know, just to pardon them, you know what I mean? But then you add in this 7,000 that pardon, gets them, gets charges dropped or sentences reduced so that they get out of prison. Nobody has let out 7,000 black people out of prison. No one. Not even Obama comes close. No one comes close to it. Trump. 7,000 because I'm saying 6 or 7,000. I can't remember which one it was. But even if it was 6,000, he did another 1,000 in blacks just like in just individuals. You know what I mean? Or hundreds of them. To where you could say 7,000 black people he paroled, got out of pardon, he got out of prison. But what kind of racist guy does that? Okay, black poverty, historic record, like better in the last century. No, in the last 100 years, you've never had lows like this. Black poverty, 2019, and remember, Trump was between 16 and 20. So by the time Trump is like it's at the end of his, 3 years into his presidency, black poverty goes down and down and down, and then in 2019, and 3 years after his thing, it's at a record low for like over the last century. Why would he do that? 9,000 opportunity zones, or almost 9,000. I think it's like 8,700 and whatever. But I would say 9,000. 9,000 opportunity zones to projectedly bring in $100 billion in private investment in the minority communities. Okay, so he's got 9,000 centers that have opportunities, considered opportunity zones, bringing in $100 billion in business to help blacks have business, to have businesses come in and give blacks employment. You know what I mean? It's just, why would he do that? $1 billion to minority-owned businesses through the Commerce Department. The Commerce Department. He just gave $1 billion to only black people. Well, minority-owned businesses. Why would he do that? This guy's the worst racist I've ever seen. Future Act. What is that? Guarantees blacks colleges money basically permanently. You know what I mean? Every year the black colleges have to go to the government and beg for money, beg for loans, beg for charity funds to them, and Trump just gave them a decade worth of money, decade of loans, a decade of funds, okay? And those loans and the funds, free funds and all that, biggest amount black colleges ever. I mean, he increased it like 20% or something, 15%. It was some percentage that was like unheard of to be jacking up how much money they get. He did the biggest one ever. And then on top of that, he guaranteed it for a decade instead of, just a year. Like, what a terrible racist. Black unemployment, it's the lowest in the last 100 years. And I know I said black poverty is at the record historic lows. Not only that, black unemployment is the lowest in the last 100 years. So blacks are doing better than in the last 100 years. The last time the blacks were doing this good was 100 years ago, which means that was when they were Republicans. So when they were Republicans back in the day, like when they came out of slavery, they were all Republicans because the Southern Democrats were in the Civil War were fighting for slaves, and the Northern Republicans were fighting against slavery. So obviously, when you get free the slaves, none of them are going to be Democrats, right? So they were all Republicans, right? Until they started getting the welfare thing and LGBT, Lyndon Johnson, whatever his name is, said, and this is almost, I'm saying paraphrasing, but it's almost verbatim what he said. Well, if we can't stop the blacks from voting and we can't stop them from, being free and having guns and blah, 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 the next 200 years, we'll make them, and he said this is quoted. He didn't say N-word, he said the actual word. I don't want to say it on, I don't want to say it on camera or whatever, but he says, we'll make sure those N-words vote Democrat for the next 200 years. And then all of a sudden, here comes all the social programs, all the whatever, destroying their family unit in the black community, right? Telling single mothers how they don't need a black man. They don't need a man at all. Government will take care of them with their welfare. Okay, what else? When visiting schools and colleges. Yeah, you know, I hear Biden, right? He goes and he visits a college or whatever and public school. He's there telling them how they have no hope, white supremacy, as it just no sense in even trying. You're helpless. You're losers. You're nothing. Can't do nothing because you got white people that want to hold you down. And no matter how hard you try, you're fucked. And that's basically what Biden tells black people. And that's right. These are colleges, and even worse in public schools. Why would you tell little children that? Even if it was true, why would you say that? You know what I mean? That there's no hope. That there's no, even let's say this was the 70s, 80s, whatever, where there was actual racism against black people. You know what I mean? Even back then, yeah, sure, they should be told, yeah, the country is racist, so you have to work harder. But you don't go tell them, even in the 70s, you don't go tell them, hey, you're losers, you can't amount to shit, and no matter what you do, you're fucked. No! You say, hey, life sucks, it's racist out there, but you can do it, buddy. You're black, and it don't matter. All you got to do is work. Maybe you got to work harder, which is unfair. But, that guy that was born with no legs, he got to work harder too. Life ain't fair. That doesn't mean you just lay down and give up. No, you get up off your ass and you get 2 jobs. You do whatever it takes and you make yourself a success. That's what should be told to them black people, kids, even back in the 70s. You know what I mean? But to say it today when there isn't even, there's very little racism, you'll never get rid of racism. You're always going to have it. But if it's that small amount, you got to just say, hey, screw it. There's always going to be assholes out there. You can't stop assholism. I lost my train of thought. But, oh yeah. Now, what does Trump do when he goes to these these colleges and public schools and that? He goes and he don't tell them how they're losers and that they're hopeless and no matter what they do, they can't succeed. He goes in and he tells them, he says, you're great. Black people have done great things and they are going to continue doing great things and they can succeed, and all you have to do is work, get a business, go to college, and if you can't do that, then you get 2 jobs and you save that money up, and little by little, you hustle, you can do it because you are just as good as anybody else. You are an American citizen, and that's all that matters. And as long as you're an American citizen, you can do it, man. I got faith in you. I believe in all you people because black people are great people. They are smart people. They are good workers, and all you have to do is go out and do it. And it might be hard, but anything worthwhile is hard. That's what Trump tells black people. But he's a big racist. He's a piece of garbage, But I could go on literally for a year talking about what Trump has done to help black people, why he isn't racist, what he's done to, you know what I mean? I could literally just nonstop tell you story after story. I'm already on what? This is like video 6 or something? 6 times 15, an hour and a half. I'm just going on about how what he's done to proves he's not racist. But he said fake news and tried to run for president, so every 5 seconds in the news, Trump is racist, Trump is racist, Trump is racist. As soon as you hear the news repeating something over and over like that, like terrorist, 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 they're lying. They're making up a monster because they want you to give them money to stop the fictitious monster. That's what they do.